All right, so GM, everyone, wherever you are in the world. So once again, this is yours truly, Nomad Fury, and we're back for another episode of the Nomads podcast. So our special guest for this episode is no other than the marketing manager of Across Protocol. So please welcome to the show, Miss Amanda.
Hey everyone, yeah, GM, Amanda calling in from South Korea. Really excited to be back on this show. Uh, Nomad Fury was super kind and generous to invite me once again. It's been several years, but yeah, this channel has grown so much. And yeah, I'm lucky to, now that you're getting so famous, I'm lucky to be allowed to be back on.
Wow, thank you so much for that compliment, Amanda. Yes, it's good to have you back here in the show. It's like, the last time that we had this, it was like 2 years ago. I remember it was January of 2021. Well, we had an amazing conversation back then. And 2 years later, here we are again, having this kind of session. But this time it's all about the Across Protocol. So I know that some of the viewers here, they want to learn more about Across Protocol because we are actually using cross-chain bridges, from time to time. So yeah, we want to learn more on what makes you guys so unique, so different, and could stand out from the rest. Okay. And also, I want to say hello to all of our viewers and our subscribers who are watching our podcast right now with Amanda Joki of the Across Protocol. So Amanda, are we all set?
We are, but if you are watching and you haven't clicked subscribe, do that right now.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Amanda, before being part of the Across Protocol, how did you got introduced into crypto and Web3 for the first time, and why you have decided to pursue your career in this industry?
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same where all of the audience members are, but definitely in Canada, I think in 2015 or 2016, there were so many different news channels that were like, a dangerous new digital currency, Bitcoin, is being used to buy illegal, blah, 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 right? And then they were showing like the Silk Road, and I'm like, what is this, right? But despite the news kind of making it sound so scary, I thought, oh, Bitcoin sounds really cool. I think I want one of those. Like, I don't want to buy anything, but I just want to have a Bitcoin because it sounds so futuristic and yeah, like something out of a movie. So I think that's what really started the journey. It's kind of interesting path, and I can't believe I'm here right now from that like random news tale. But yeah, I just started seeing, I was lucky to be in South Korea and just be surrounded by people who were trading it. And I was like, oh yeah, that, I heard about this a couple of years ago. I had tried to buy it. I found it impossible when I started looking into how to make a wallet, and I had given up. So yeah, I got super lucky that I had people helping me. They became Bitcoin millionaires. I did not. But yeah, anyways, they got me into it, and it's been, oh my goodness, it's been 4 or 5 years now, which feels like a lifetime, right? Like you say, we've only met 2 years ago, but I thought it was four or so. Time, it's just such a crazy industry, so it feels longer, but it's been great.
Yeah, it's really amazing, to hear from you, about your story and how you got introduced into crypto for the first time. Just in case that some of the viewers here have, met you right here for the first time, and could you share your mission, vision, and the core values of the Across Protocol?
Yes, so Across is a cross-chain bridge for those that don't know. So we have several different routes. So if you're more accustomed to, trading and playing with your crypto on Ethereum mainnet, Across can help you transfer your assets to Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, and we can facilitate that transfer for you securely. We're actually pretty consistently one of the top, either first or second place on many aggregators in terms of speed, time, and cost. We've also never been hacked. I know we're going to have a conversation later about security, but I think if you've been following the news, you might have heard there's been some big bridge hacks, which makes people feel a little bit wary to use bridges. But we'll go into more details as to why Across is so secure. But yes, never been hacked before. Very happy to say that. And also, we've just been really dedicating ourselves to making a superior product that transfers assets to any blockchain, again, fastest, most affordable, and the most secure way. So that's kind of our ethos, and we are concentrated on token bridging, and I'll get more into those details after, but yeah, that's our focus, is just really propelling interoperability, sorry, and really helping to build out this cross-chain ecosystem, which I'm glad to hear that yourself and your audience members are getting more involved in.
Yeah, that was really awesome, for us to hear it from you about, the vision and the core values of their cross protocol, especially the fact that you have mentioned that you guys have never been hacked, right? So you did mention about those cross chain bridges before that were being compromised, because I have used cross chain bridges from time to time, like from one blockchain to the other. I just want to transfer it. I don't want to name those countless bridges that I have used. Just a little bit of respect. Okay. Now in the past, Amanda, these various cross-chain bridges that are existing right now in the market are prone to being compromised by the hackers. So, Amanda, how your cross-chain bridge is much more safe and secure these days, just like you said before?
Yeah, so I think it's all thanks to the UMA Optimistic Oracle, which is the oracle that Across uses, which is why our technology, our bridging technology would be called an optimistic bridge. So I think for myself personally, when I first started learning about oracles, I was like, what? So it makes off-chain data, is able to validate off-chain data and put it on chain. So just like a really simple example is, if I go to the store and I say, bananas are $1, and I want to put that on blockchain for whatever reason, I can use the UMA Optimistic Oracle to like validate that information. But we have what makes UMA's OO, or Optimistic Oracle, decentralized, is that we have, and trustless, is that we have a ton of different voters who say if something is correct or not. So if someone disputes that, and they say, no, like banana is only 50 cents. Now we have a dispute about this information and whether it's right or wrong. And we have a bunch of different voters who are incentivized with UMA token to validate whether one is correct and one is not. And if you just vote, you don't get rewarded. You have to vote the right way, right? So I think that's what makes Across so safe, is because we have this oracle behind it, which again is not centralized in the sense that it's not like a multi-sig, or we don't have some sort of like central master key that's like validating whether or not these transfers are genuine or not. It's all, again, trustless via this oracle. I hope that made sense. I know that Oracle is a little bit confusing, but I tried to make it as simple as possible. The other thing that I think is like really important to remember is when we talk about like messaging bridges have receipts, and those can be forged or corrupted. So if a particular chain's consensus breaks, there could be infinite mint on that chain. And as I mentioned, like multi-sigs and like burn and mint, there could be like a lot of different issues with that. So the fact that we remain true to sticking to like canonical tokens and not compromising on that is another reason why our bridge is, I think, not experienced any sort of security issues like we've seen with other various examples in the past.
Oh, I see. That's how across protocols, across chain bridge is more safe and secure. Now, hopefully, our subscribers and viewers who are tuning into our podcast right now have learned, how safe it is for us, to use the across protocol. When we want to, we want to transfer, our coin from one blockchain to the other. So let's look forward to it. Now, Amanda, could you name some of the notable achievements that Across Protocol has from the very beginning until now, especially the partners that you have on board?
Yeah, so I think we talked a little bit about aggregators. So the aggregators would be Instead of you just, going to across.to, you would go to like a Li-Fi, Bungee, or Socket, for example, and you show what sort of route you want to go. So maybe you want to do like optimism to arbitrum, or arbitrum to optimism, like a route L2 to L2 sort of route. And you put in the amount that you want to send, and then these aggregators will show you like what's the cheapest and fastest route for, and then also incorporate the sort of slippage in there so that you can see how much of your, like, if you're sending like $1,000, right? You might only end up getting like 998, or another bridge might only give you $980. So you have to take all that into consideration. So the aggregators are quite nice about that. And as you know, there are so many different bridge alternatives out there, but we're really proud to say that Across has over 34% market share out of all the aggregators. So that's pretty massive. And I think that's really proving that our hard work in terms of reducing the times for transfers and also making these transfers as affordable as possible, and also not really taking into consideration the slippage. So it's like a no slippage model. So the user is getting the most of their money in these transfers, and the end result is really showing with the market share that we hold right now, and it's only just increasing. We also, I think this is pretty important, is that we've had really like massive 1-day transfer volumes. And again, not trying to name names, and like, again, the cross-chain space is still very immature. It's very new. So there's a lot of room for it to grow. And we're all just trying to work together at this point. But other bridges have seen, if they do a couple tens of millions of dollars in one day, the bridge will just break. Also, other bridges have sometimes like downtime, like quite a few hours or extended periods of downtime. And that's because they have this like bridging AMM model, which I was talking about, like the burn and mint model. So like they rely on their users to like rebalance the pools. So when the pools are not balanced, you can't transfer. So the bridge is like down. So like, again, we're still immature, right? So we don't know like which design, a bridging infrastructural design is the best. Like they all have their own pros and cons, but this is like a really good example of like a con of the AMM style. So Across auto rebalances every several hours, and we don't have downtime. And then in terms of like these big transfer volumes, we've done like consecutively, 35 million a day and not had any sort of problems. Our biggest like single transfer was over $20 million in one shot. So I think that, yeah, I think those are massive accomplishments in the bridging space. Again, we're still so new. So the fact that we've been able to kind of facilitate these big numbers is incredible. If you're in the really understood the bridging like world, I think you would hear this and be quite impressed. So that's why I'm kind of getting excited to talk about this. But yeah, the last thing I wanted to mention too was in terms of just DeFi, which everyone I guess is familiar with from your audience, is so every bridge needs to have liquidity providers. And similar to SushiSwap, we give our liquidity providers reward tokens. Our native token is ACX. So we give the reward tokens for LPing, but what we've seen time and time again, what happens, right, is like as soon as you get the reward token, you just sell it. And usually investors say, or VCs say, that's kind of what you should be doing, is just quickly selling it. So we didn't want to have all these mercenary farmers and have like such an inflationary token. So what we did was create a DeFi first in LP design, and that was called a concept called reward locking. So if you keep your LP and you don't claim the ACX that you've received as a reward, like every day your reward gets multiplied. So it's like going up a little bit, and then the maximum is 3x after 100 days. So you're getting still like your average reward, but times 3 after 100 days, if you just don't claim it. So I think that's really a novel concept and a big step in the DeFi world, believe it or not, in the bridging space, right? Isn't that kind of interesting?
Yeah, it really is interesting, Amanda, regarding the notable achievements that you guys have from the beginning until now. Okay. Now, aside from the achievements that you've just mentioned, so I know that you guys are also facing some challenges as well. So could you share what you guys, these challenges that you and your team have been facing these days and how you overcome them?
Yeah, I think because I just talked about it was like there are so many different bridge designs and it hasn't been decided or there hasn't been a clear winner yet. So there is a little bit of public pressure to try this style or try that style, right? But we feel very confident in the design that we currently use. And what I mean by that, we feel very strongly and confidently in focusing on token bridging because token bridging has not been solved yet. Right. As I mentioned again, the space is still very immature. So there's no perfect solution. And what I mean by it hasn't been solved yet is there's still transfer times are not instantaneous. The UX still could be improved. And then there's several other sort of issues, like in terms of capital efficiency, right? That's one of our biggest sort of points that we focus on is the importance of capital efficiency, but it's not perfect, right? So we want to stick to token bridging and focus on that until we feel confident that we are providing cross-chain users the best experience and providing them with the best product to transfer value over any blockchain. But yeah, I think that that's the challenge is that so many different types of bridging, the AMM style, messaging style, NFT style. So there's kind of some pressure to expand, but we don't want to kind of have all of our eggs in all these different baskets or all of our fingers in different pies. So that's probably the more correct phrase. So yeah, I think that's like a major challenge that maybe the public would be pushing us to just try everything. The other thing would just be the cross-chain applications are actually incredibly hard to securely build. I know I've been kind of saying how secure we are, and that's true, but because of the different design types, there is still a lot of experimentation going on. And yeah, it's just not easy to create the perfect product that at least is our standard, but we are getting there. And that's exciting. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it is, Amanda. So at least you've shared to us, about the challenges that you guys have been facing these days and how you overcome them. So that's really nice to hear it from you guys. Now, I know that this question is something really intriguing, and most of the guests that I have in the podcast, they really like this question. So, how do you see the future of Across Protocol in a few years from now? What is gonna be?
Okay, so I just did. By the way, you're such a great host.
Thank you.
I just did like 20 interviews. I was in your seats the past month, so like really kudos to you to be able to do this for as long as you have been. It's not easy to interview people, but I'm just remembering this interview that I had just yesterday with one of the team members, Peter from Off-Chain Labs, which is the project that is responsible for Arbitrum. And he was giving a really good example of a DeFi protocol that he was very impressed with, and that is Cow Swap. I think, have you heard of it?
Kind of familiar.
Yeah, Cow. Yeah, so it's like COW, which is coincidence of wants. So yeah, kind of also a very innovative DeFi infrastructure, not at all like just a fork. It's a really different, and it's not a constant product model. It's again coincidence of wants. Like, hey, I want to sell $10 of uni, and Nomad Fury wants to buy $10. Like, wow, what a coincidence! And like together, and like I want to sell for this price, and you agree on that price. Like, yeah, so what a coincidence. So it's again, very novel, sounded quite complex, and maybe how are you going to pull that off, right? That seems pretty difficult. Like, but the Peter from Arbitrum was saying that he was very impressed that for many years, despite people being like, I'm not really sure, the team really stuck to their guns, and because they strongly believed in their product and they strongly believed in this DeFi design. Look at now, they're really taking off, and because they were consistent and they kept their focus, they're now reaping the rewards of that. So I think for across too, despite all the noise right now with all the different bridge designs, as I mentioned, and kind of this like battle of the bridges and this like cross-chain domination type world that we live in, I think, and I hope, I do strongly believe, and I can see this happening, is that right now we're like the cow swap of bridges. We're sticking to our guns, where there's a lot of people trying a lot of flashy things. We are staying true to our ethos, staying true to the sort of core and the foundation of transferring assets, which is token bridging. And because we're focusing on that, which we feel is the most important in the end, I think we will win the race. And that's what I see for our future. And I'm excited.
Yes, really exciting things, for the future, not just for you guys, but also to this industry, this evolving industry, and it will never stop, especially that, 2023, well, AI is already the trend right now. So yeah, a lot of Web3 crypto DeFi projects are already exploring this kind of technology, because of that boom from the chat GPT. So yeah, things are really getting exciting right now, for this industry, Amanda. Yes.
Would you ever have guessed that like this technology was ready? Like when ChatGPT came out, I was really quite scared. I thought, oh, we're all gonna lose our jobs because I didn't know that was already ready. It seemed like years away.
Yeah, I'm actually my friend right now, who is based in Poland. Well, he is already using Chat GPT. For instead of hiring those article writers, he is using Chat GPT right now to make things easier. That's
Sorry.
really the effect. So and I heard that Chat GPT is it's kind of a Google killer. Well, yeah.
Everyone says that, yeah. Let's see, because Microsoft just bought them, so I guess Bing is. We would have thought Bing had a chance, right, against Google, but now who knows?
Yeah, and that's why they're all catching up to this AI trend. That's why Google had their own AI as well. So yeah, I agree that AI has make our life easier, like when we do such things, virtually. But at what cost as well? These jobs you have mentioned about that those jobs that it's a concern. So, but there is also a saying that when it comes to the AI, they won't really take us away, but those people who are using AI will, rather than those who are not using AI.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Huh. Yeah, to be honest, after playing with ChatGPT, I hope he doesn't hear this, but after playing with the ChatGPT a little bit, it's not there yet. It's not ready to take over yours or my job. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll see in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's still early, by the way. Yeah, but well, let's look forward to it then.
It's funny that you bring up AI though, because we did not even prepare this at all, but we just did our first Galaxy campaign, and we've had this character named Ross across, who's the AI robot who kind of helps you with your transfer of your assets, help you use the bridge. So we just released that character to the public like a day ago. So we didn't even plan this. I find that what a coincidence, right?
Yeah, indeed. It's really interesting. The world is really evolving. Like after AI, what's next? Wow. These Web2, no matter if it's Web2 companies, Web3 companies, they are really catching up to this kind of trend. They are adopting this kind of technology. Well, yeah, this is going to be very interesting in a few years from now. Okay.
They were gonna be like Wall-E. Like, did you watch Wall-E?
Yeah, I did. Like
I think that's our future.
Yeah, indeed. And before this AI becomes trendy, it's metaverse. You know about the Ready Player One, right? Have you watched that movie?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Yeah.
good.
So that's the introduction, like what the metaverse really looks like when we put our VR glasses there, and then we explore this metaverse, and now it's come to reality right now. But even though that it's still in the maturing stage, yeah. Well, it's finally coming to reality. How much more of this AI? I mean, wow, this is really evolving right now, Amanda. We cannot avoid this.
Yes, I like it too though. It's good because it's all these movies like you mentioned, right, that we even grew up with. So it's really cool that we're living and experiencing it. Like even if it means total annihilation, like we got to witness it, right? That is kind of cool, right? What a way to go. I think it's kind of
Yeah,
fun, well, in a positive way.
yeah,
But yeah, if you know what I was thinking we need is metaverse, but built for education. Because
correct.
like I think what you do in terms of the interviews, those never need to go away. But you know, like the animated sort of infographic videos
Yeah.
that every Web3 project uses, that time has passed. We need like games in the metaverse to educate users. So if you ever come across that, call me because I'm looking for that right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. The metaverse for education. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good.
Fun? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, anyways, I think we're down to our final question for this podcast, Amanda. Now, let's say you have introduced a cross protocol to me for the first time. Now, could you give me some reasons on why I should be using a cross protocol more often than the other existing cross chain bridges out there?
Sure. Yeah. Super easy. If you want to try out any of these L2s that you've heard a lot about, I'm sure you've heard a lot about Arbitrum, tons of opportunities there. Polygon, that's tried and true. Optimism, ZK Sync, that's coming out very soon. Can everyone's so sad, right? Oh, I FOMO, like I missed out on this opportunity, that opportunity. These are just getting started. So this is your time to be really early. And if you're kind of worried because you've heard people have lost money on, other bridges, you can be sure that, again, with UMA's optimistic oracle that is behind across, there's no sort of multi-sig or master key holder who can be corrupted. It's a trustless system in terms of validating these transfers. You can be rest assured that your assets will be safe. You won't have to wait 7 days. Some of these bridges, believe it or not, like 7 days, 20 minutes, a few hours. If you have an NFT mint that you want to make sure you get in, or oh my goodness, like Camelot is having a token sale going on in 5 minutes, I'm about to be late. You don't want to take a risk and use a different bridge that might take 20 minutes because then you're going to miss out. So use across. Our average transfer time is under 1 minute. Like, I'm sorry, there's just no bridges are beating that. Our fees are like almost zero. So you're not gonna, and it's a no slippage model. So you're not gonna be sending money and then, or sending $1,000 and why did I only get 950 or something? Like, that's not gonna happen. So I think that all three of those reasons is really the best example that I can give you, or the best sort of overview that I can give you as to convincing you to use it. And if you don't believe me, you can again go on Li-Fi, Socket, Bungee. You will see Across is quite often, more often than not, going to be the winner. And yeah, there you go. Save money, save time.
All right, really interesting, on why we should be using a cross protocol more often than the other cross-chain bridges, especially the fact that I have been using a lot of cross-chain bridges, to be honest. So I would love to try out a cross protocol. I haven't tried it yet until now. So yeah, but I would love to try it out later because I have plans to, I'm trying to transfer this kind of token to another blockchain. So yeah, I would try to check that out. Okay, so yeah, at least you guys have heard it from Amanda on why we should not be missing out using a cross protocol and why we should be using it more often than the other cross-chain bridges out there. All right. Now, before we wrap this up, Amanda, do you have some parting words for our amazing subscribers and viewers who are tuning into our podcast right now?
Yes, I just wanted to put a little call to action at the end, and that is give our Twitter a follow. The reason why I think a lot of your followers follow your channel because they're looking for someone to tell them which products are good to use or which sort of opportunities are out there because no one has time to do, everyone says do your own research, but no one has time to do their own research for all these different chains now and all the products and all these different chains. So we've been doing these really fun campaigns. We just did Ape into Arbitrum campaign where we did 20 different protocols that kind of every week we talk with one per day or 2 or 3 per week of like really well vetted or hidden gems that are on these L2s. So I think it's a fun way to learn about these products without, you know, wasting a couple hours on a medium or medium articles or docs, right? So yeah, I would recommend doing that. And so thank you so much. And thanks for all the hard work you do, because I'm sure I know I've learned a lot from your channel as well, in terms of like maybe which tokens to ape into or
All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest for today's episode of the Nomads podcast. So we have the marketing manager of Across Protocol, Miss Amanda Joki. So once again, Amanda, thank you so much once again for being here in the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Bye bye.
Yes, also I want to say thank you also to all of our subscribers and our viewers who are tuning in to our podcast right now with the marketing manager of Across Protocol, Miss Amanda Joki. So if you want more details, so all the links are right here on the video description. And of course, feel free to share this to your crypto and non-crypto friends out there, especially those who are so active in the DeFi space, okay? So I have a question for everyone here who is watching this podcast right now. Did you enjoy this session? Has this session helped you a lot and gives value in any way? And what do you guys think about it? Just let me know right here in the comment section. So once again, this is Nomad Fury, and I'll see you all again next time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you.